I've assembled the fully profiled scales onto each of their sets of liners. You can see that's a technique that I usually use on a Techno Art or a similar type knife is to step it down from the level of the liners. And it's very obvious here on this one with the carbon fiber. This is a shorter knife anyway than the others, and one of the benefits of stepping down the scales is that it gives the appearance of a shorter handle and therefore the appearance of a longer blade, while still being able to capture the entire blade inside the handle, inside the scales and liners when it's folded up. The next step here will be to contour the scale material. Timascus, lightning strike carbon fiber, and both of these are straight carbon fiber. This is a set of carbon fiber scales on one of the folders, and I've already contoured them. You can see how I've rolled the sides. Should be able to pick a bit of a radius up by looking at it from the end. And you can see how it's cut through the various layers. Top layers here, deep here, and deep here. And then I'll show you on one as soon as I get my safety gear back on. That's it, you don't have a crank. Okay, it's taking a look. I've got a clip blanked out with 2 holes drilled in it. Get ready to transfer those holes over to the scale and therefore the liner so that I can drill and tap everything to secure the clip to the handle. I'm going to drill into carbon fiber, and then we'll transfer those holes on down in the next operation after I've done several of these like this. I've drilled and tapped all the holes in the liners for the clips, and I've drilled clearance holes through all of the appropriate scales. So now it's time to bend the clip. Because of the location of the clip at the butt of these handles and the way the handles contour, I actually have to put a little bit of a roll to them. There you go. Pretty close. I'll fine tune it as I start finishing the clips.
I've laid out the locks, both the longitudinal and cross slot for the lock face on the lock side liners. Drilled holes at each end, and I've got a slitting saw set up in the milling machine. I'm going to slit one now. Here you can see the slot's been made. Now I slit the liner at the lock face. You can see that I've cut the relief notch to thin down the liner at the pivoting point for the lock. Did this in the mill with a 1/2 inch diameter roughing in mill. We're down to about 44 thousandths thick right here. Makes a good flexible lock for a flipper. Now I'm going to bend it. Go. Should have a fair amount of flex once we get going on it. You can see that I've marked all my blades based on the location of the lock on the liners. Down here you can see my interesting setup. It's the tool rest, and I found years ago that by placing this piece of steel at a specific distance from the wheel and the bell, it sets up the proper angle for grinding the lock face on the blades. Now I'm going to go through various grits from pretty coarse down to pretty fine until I get to the proper point on the